Hey YouTube, and thank you for watching Junkworks DIY Garage. Well, this is what I'm doing a video on today. It is this rigid, I don't know what they call it, interlock system or whatever. It'll be in the title. But I feel like I've had enough time that working with these that I can really kind of give you a good, yet again, DIY homeowner handyman who has put together a place for his kids. That's why I bought this, is because I put a place together for my mom, and even then I kind of wished I had something I could put kind of all my tools in and move them in and out of where she was towards the end when she was living there especially. And then I was going to my kids' place and I needed to be able to haul my stuff back and forth. I didn't want to leave these at my kids' place and worry about them while they were there and somebody breaking in. So I'm going to show you now kind of how I was using it. Go ahead. Come on. Go ahead. So I don't know if you saw me, I was getting it in and out of my Explorer. This fit really good in my Explorer. I could put one of these in the back, put this down and shove the whole thing in. I could grab tools in and out of the back window. It worked really good actually. And then I was able to lock it in my Explorer in the garage or in my driveway when I was here or whatever. But regardless, this system, I'm going to put, I didn't do enough research here. I've done the research, but I don't remember all the research I did. But I'll put poundage right here, down below, and kind of what weight you can put in it. I don't know how much weight I have in here right now, but I probably couldn't lift this completely on my own unless I really had to. And it rolls just fine. There are a couple of caveats to that. What I mostly did, and I had my son mostly using this as well, I ended up popping these loose, and my son would bring this in separately because it is fairly heavy, and then we would just roll this part up and down the stairs and things like that. Now in the video I show you I bought an extra one of these. I had this one on here, and I could throw, you know, my Sawzall, and I got a sander in there, and my little jitterbug jigsaw thing. All that stuff kind of could go in there, and I could do it that way too, if I needed to. But most of the time, admittedly, we just worked with a couple things, or like I had tools in here for the day or whatever that I needed. And then I had my other one inside. So basically it's a very handy thing, and I have been very impressed with it for the most part. So as you can see, you can even stack it this high, and technically you could roll this around I would not want to be going up and down any stairs, but I could definitely roll this around with ease. No problem with all these on here. Now, caveat to that is this right here. I do not feel that it's strong enough, because I've definitely tested, I've used it and I banged on it, and it's stronger than it looks. We'll put it that way. It kind of feels a bit iffy on how well this kind of holds in here. It kind of moves a little bit too much, I guess I would say. Now, on it, yet again, it's not made to hold this mini. I went ahead and bought an extra one of these because I knew it would be just a handy place to bring stuff, even if I had to have somebody pack it into the house for me. So I went ahead and grabbed another one. Plus, if I'm on flat ground unloading my Explorer, I could put all these on here like this, full of stuff, and bring it into my garage with no problem, because I wasn't going up and down any stairs. On flat surfaces, it'll roll lots of weight. Yet again, I'd say this might be over the weight limit. I'm not positive. The tires also look kind of cheesy and cheap. So here's a closer look at the tires. They kind of look, they're plasticky and cheap, and they look almost like barbecue. The axle and stuff, the way they do barbecues, and I don't really like that. But yet again, I have been pulling these up and down some steps and with quite a bit of weight, and have had no problems or issues for cracking or anything like that. They're solid wheels. They're kind of a honeycomb on the inside here, but they are definitely plastic, and there's definitely, like I said, just a metal bar going through here with a couple of end caps popped onto the ends holding them on. So I don't really like that design part. I'd say the worst part of this is that and this part right here. But the actual boxes themselves are pretty darn sturdy. So for the most part, I have been very happy with this. There's a couple things that I could see if you were using it every single day and really abusing it, you might have problems, but for the most part, I didn't have any problems. And we were pulling this in and out of my rig at least 4 to 5 times a week, probably. And hauling it up and down stairs, and I moved it around the house quite a bit. You know, it's done a pretty good job, and I would say I've more than a homeowner, DIYer, abused it. So to each their own. I would say it probably is going to hold together just fine, and I have had no problems. So something else, the one last little kind of downside I would say, I would put this button under here if you could, or something like that, because I have found that, you know, just even my kid once leaned on it once and went like that, and he was just kind of leaning on it. Now it does kind of go down to different heights. There's the tallest. That's pretty much where I have to have it to be comfortable for me, and I'm about 5'9", 5'10" on a good day, but it will go down to there and also all the way down and fold away. Alright, now as far as the crates, they hold quite a bit and seem pretty sturdy, but my thing, as you can see, it bends quite a bit. They're fairly, I guess, rubbery, so to speak, which is probably good in the way that it's not going to crack and break as far as that's concerned. But I was hoping with this extra one, once in a while, I'd be able to turn it upside down and maybe stand on it. And even I tried it with my kid first, and it wasn't sturdy enough to really, if he kind of stand it on both corners so you had the weight going directly down, it'd be okay. But you know, when you're standing on something, you don't want to have to be balancing perfectly right in a certain spot. You want to be able to get up there, do what you want to do, and go back. So these did not work for standing on, but they do work for storing a lot of crap. Also, it appears that right here and here on both sides are dividers. If you want to, I don't know if you can buy dividers for it. I didn't see any. But I actually, one of the times I was using it, tried putting some boards across one of these, and it worked fine. I didn't end up using it that way because it just wasn't really working the way I wanted it to. But if you wanted to divide this into some smaller areas on the outside and a bigger one in the middle, you could do something like that, or have a smaller one here and a larger one, whatever you want to do. It does seem to have kind of divider type things in it. And it's probably kind of hard to tell because it seems like a lot of stuff is just thrown in here, which at the end of the day, when I go to finish up and I want to get my tools put away, whatever I'm using at the end of the day that doesn't have its own kind of place ends up in here. All the pry bars and hammers, some pipe wrenches. I got my grinder, got a nail gun that I was using last time, some ear protection, all that kind of stuff. And then also I went ahead and put this in here. It's a Husky toolkit case that kind of came with a crappy strap that I actually replaced with a different one, but I just took that off. That actually fits in here really nice. And then you have pockets. It has pockets inside and out, so I have places for screwdrivers, some, you know, shears, cutting shears, some screwdrivers, got some safety stuff in here, got a couple of flashlights in here, my square, just kind of places for wrenches where I have pockets to put kind of stuff in that I'm using for the day, and a few things that I just use more often that I know where I can just come in here, grab them out of the pocket and go. And then some bigger areas for bigger tools, some places I got cases of things here, some drill stuff for my drill, hole saws and things like that that ended up over there. And this I can kind of move it back and forth based on what I'm doing at the day. Anyhow, it's been really handy. I've been very happy with it, and you know, you'll figure out how you want to use it, but that's just a kind of a suggestion for how I ended up using one of my crates. Now for this one. This is the smaller box. I had to buy each one of these things. Well, you had to buy separately. You had to buy the lower one, whatever of these you wanted, and whatever of these you wanted. And I bought one of these. I'll stick this down because it does actually open better if you don't have that there. And when I was using this part, if I knew I was going to be in this one a lot, I put a bin between here and there, and that puts it at a decent height where you're not bending over all day long. And as you can see, this fits quite a few things in it. Now, I need to go back to their house because there's still a few things that I have there that go with this kit. But I can give you a pretty good idea where I have just kind of doodads, thingamajigs. You can actually, it came with 3 of these, and they stacked right, or actually 6. They stacked 3 here, and actually also 3 right here. And then when you close it, they actually have kind of an indentation there that actually it goes inside of these and kind of closes them off. The way I decided to do it was to take away, it also has this divider right here, which now I'm probably gonna mess up. Regardless, there's a divider here and there was a divider here. I took this divider out so I could put my screw guns and things in here. This is where I have a few little things, and then I put my screw gun and impact gun and drill all in here. Doesn't really matter what direction you want to go, it works fine. I got my headlamp, some tape, and usually a tape measure down in here, and it'll all close just fine. And then also I decided to put this here, which it fits fine on the other side of this divider. I got my paddle bits, some band-aids, and some more drill bits down here. And a couple other things, just doodads and thingamajigs. I have a Leatherman, a spare one that I have in here. I have lots of bits, thing to sharpen my pencil, screw bits down in here, some actual screws down in here, tweezers that I can get to if I get an owie. And then I put a bunch of pens and pencils and magnet and screw tips, pry bars, things I use a lot. I do have some extra things in here. like these. I use these a lot. I got a couple of crescent wrenches in here, a scraper in here, just doodads and thingamajigs. Got a little level down in here, a couple screwdrivers, things like that. And I also have some bits here, and then there's some drill bit stuff and my little magnetic thing there. So it holds quite a bit of stuff, depending on how you want to make it work. I'm real happy with this particular box. It has worked very well for me and pretty much holds most of the stuff I use kind of on a constant basis when I'm doing my homeowner DIY building stuff. This is something that I do have noticed, is that these right here tend to slide around, especially on this one, because we also tend to, you know, grab this and take it places, which these are for locking these in. I'll give you a closer look at that. So on both sides there's these here, which they just pop out and pop back in, and that's how it stays there. So you pop those out on both sides, and then I usually grab it by this and you can pick it up. You could probably pick it up from under here too, but we found these are plenty sturdy enough and work pretty well to hold things. Now, for the most part, this is what I brought into the house on pretty much a daily basis, was this right here, and that top box that I had on there that was just filled to the brim with stuff. And so that one I can't put underneath this one. So most of the time this one wound up like this. So I would either leave it like this, but most of the time I would actually unlatch these. Which brings me to probably my last thing I'll complain about on this one, unless I find something else, is these do not have a very positive lock. They do have a lock here where you can put something in here if you want to keep somebody out or keep it closed. But I did notice that these would bump open like that every now and then. So they don't have a very good real click to them, I'll say that. That could just be the one I got. This one right here was the last one they had, and it was COVID and they weren't bringing any more in, so I took this one. So it could be that this is maybe why it was still there. But regardless, when I went ahead to take the top off of this, I left this on here, and I would just bring this whole thing and set it on a table somewhere or wherever I wanted to be. Now that brings us to our last box. Well, we are now in the bottom box here, and in this one I got some screws here. Actually, this was in my other one. I have actually since used this since the last time I stopped this video, and changed a few things around, but for the most part this is what I had in here. Down on the bottom here I have a battery. I was able to get my other batteries into that other smaller case now, but regardless, just kind of a short extension cord in here that I keep in there. This all over here is electrical stuff. I got some wood glue and that kind of stuff, and then I keep my saw in here with a battery, couple lights, those Amazon cheapy lights that I didn't think I'd like, but they actually have worked out really well. Actually, I've liked them. I might do another video on those. I got a chalk line, and that's about it down in here. So pretty much just electrical and the saw, battery, not a whole lot in here. Every now and then, if I need something specific, I have a little bit of extra room down here, and I'll throw something else in here, whatever it is. But for the most part, this is what I carry down in the bottom. Now, it did come with a piece that went across the back here that had some little cubbies, kind of. I don't know how to exactly, it's just a plastic piece. I have that at my kid's place, and I've never grabbed it. I took it out from day one, never used it for, well, I'll take that back. I did use it for a little while trying to make stuff work, and I never could get it work. So I pulled that out and was able to get more in here. So for me, it was just a waste of space. But it does come in the back here with some little cubby things that you can pull out. They're not like these. It's actually a whole plastic piece that goes across the back. So I'm sure you'll be able to find pictures of it if you really want to look. But all in all, I am very happy with this. The biggest thing that tells you I'm happy is that if I had to buy this all over again, I would. I would grab this one for price, quality, and what it does for me. This has worked out very well. Well, hopefully you got something out of this. Yet again, all in all, I'm happy with it. So there you go. Now you know. Thanks for watching Junkworks DIY Garage, where I'm proud to say I'm a jack of all and master of none. You all have a good one.